Challengers is going to kill the pickleball trend and bring tennis back. Here's why you should watch it. Disclaimer, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, skip to the end to see my score or watch at your own discretion. I've been playing tennis since I was in the 5th grade, and I used to absolutely love the sport, practicing almost every day and religiously following the ATP tour. But when I went to college, I stopped playing as much and lost track of the tour because the Big Four's careers were fading. However, after I graduated, I wanted to get back into playing tennis. The only issue was there were barely any courts to play on because they were either converted into pickleball courts or the last of the remaining tennis courts were hogged by pickleball players. So this pickleball phenomenon has gotten out of control and someone needed to put an end to this madness. Enter Challengers, starring Zendaya. This Luca Guadagnino film follows a love triangle between 3 tennis players, Taji Duncan, Art Donaldson, and Patrick Zwieg. Originally, Donaldson and Zwieg were close friends competing on the amateur circuit together, but their relationship became strained once Taji Duncan inserted herself in the mix. And the story spans 13 years, jumping back and forth between the past and the twilight of their careers, which is an ATP Challenger final between Art and Patrick with Taji sitting at middle court. Now this film has so many highlights. The direction is great as he accurately captures the intensity and mind games of the sport. And on a micro scale, the direction really brings out the most out of these actors and creates memorable performances, especially from Zendaya. Along with this, the score is incredible. This is probably Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's best score since The Social Network. But what really steals the show is the writing, using tennis as a metaphor to explore the complexities of this love triangle. To start with, each conversation feels like a tennis rally. They're mostly one-on-one conversations between the main characters where they recite and rally lines back and forth with the intent to win each conversation. Tennis also serves as a metaphor for the dynamic of the relationships in this movie, because Tashi is the net between these 2 challengers. This net is not only a physical barrier, but an obstacle between 2 former friends. Art and Patrick were the famous fire and ice duo on the amateur circuit, but once they met Tashi, their bond began to fall apart. They both began to pursue her, and this started to sour their relationship, with Tashi even viewing herself as a homewrecker. Because her career was cut short by injury, Tashi attaches herself to Art. This is where the symbolism in the title comes into play, because it's Challengers with an S at the end. In the beginning of the movie, Tashi adds an S to an ad that both her and Art are in, to signal that it's not only him who's playing tennis, it's the both of them. This is because she's trying to live her unfulfilled dreams vicariously through her husband. This leeching is most evident once Art contemplates retirement because she doesn't know what she's going to do with herself once he leaves the sport. She claims that she's more than a ball and a racket in the beginning of the movie, but in the end, that's all she really is, which makes her do some not so nice things to make sure he continues to play tennis. And this is where the great foreshadowing comes into play, because in the final set of the movie, Patrick uses a particular cue to tell Art what happened, showing Art how Tashi was an obstacle and a homewrecker between the 2. Their friendship is ruined by Tashi, and honestly, she potentially ruined a romantic relationship, as the movie hints. While the movie does have its highs, there are noticeable flaws with its continuity and tennis-related issues. To start with, there are several continuity errors and simple blunders that could have been fixed in post-production. In the final set, the scoreboard ticker shows the wrong score and the wrong person serving. Also, both players are shown serving in the same game. These issues are inexcusable because the movie was delayed 7 months because of the SAG strike, providing ample time for corrections. And also, it's pretty obvious that these aren't tennis players. Either their footwork is wrong or their technique didn't match their shots. The most glaring problem was Patrick's half serve, because even though they call this out during the movie, there is no way he can serve that fast within a bridge form. And this leads to unconvincing visual effects, as it was super obvious that the ball's trajectory didn't match how they were hit. While these issues were pretty obvious to me as a tennis player, they likely won't deter the casual viewer. There were many highs in this movie that need to be celebrated. The direction, the performances, the score, but most importantly, the writing. And so as more people can see how competitive and entertaining tennis is with this movie, I hope it'll inspire people to put down their paddle and pick up a racket to play the superior sport. I give Challengers a 9.2 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more film content from me.